I am a hair loss specialist as well. So I do sessions and classes on hair loss, those people that may be losing their, going through alopecia. It could be different forms.
Yeah.
So I do scope sessions where I scope the scalp to see, do you have follicles, and do a whole questionnaire and all of that good stuff to get them what they need.
Wait a minute, I see you glancing at the top of my head now. I see you glancing at the top of my head now.
No.
What's going on, y'all? I am Audrion Paul. This is There It Is. And in this podcast, we dive deep into the lives of business owners, local musicians, and local leaders just to see how it is they got to where they are today. We are here with the owner of Healthy Happy Wives, Net Robinson. How you doing today, man?
I am good. How are you?
I am good. It is good to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Of course. So before we started, you talked a little bit about how you have seen a couple episodes before.
Yeah.
So you already know I'm gonna dive deep into how you got to where you are today, starting with childhood. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up here in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Nice.
Yes. And I actually grew up in Wilkerson Terrace. Yes. And Stoner Hill. Those were my two foundational, and I live over in Highland a little bit.
Okay. What schools did you go to?
Well, for elementary, I went to Barrett Elementary in Stoner Hill.
All right.
And then I went to Broadmoor Middle School. And for 8th grade, I went to Lanier. And then for high school, I went to Byrd High School.
Nice. Byrd. Okay.
Yes.
You know,
Lady
so
jackets.
we have some DJs, and our DJs have done a couple of proms at Byrd, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Alma mater. I like that.
Yep.
So not normally do people bring guests to the show. I noticed today that you did. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because you talked about born and raised here. And I just want to touch and see if we're your high school sweethearts. How did that work out?
No, my husband is actually from Alabama.
Really?
Tuskegee, Alabama.
Okay.
Yes. So we've been married for 15 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And no, so we're not high school sweethearts, but he is my sweetheart.
There it is. Yes. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about from Byrd. What was next?
What was next? Well, my plan was to, well, I had a son at 15.
Okay.
I was going into my junior year of high school, had him in the summertime, going into junior year. I played basketball.
Okay.
And so my plan was, I didn't know, to be honest. His father was already off in college, and that left me here. I was like, oh, I don't want to leave him. Both of us gone, playing basketball off in college. And so I decided to stay, but I had no guidance, like on what to do.
Yeah.
I knew I was great at basketball. I knew I was smart. I knew those things, but I didn't know what to do. And so one of the coaches at Southern University here reached out to me, and they offered me a scholarship to play basketball here. And I stayed and played basketball, went to Southern, and it was really good. And I was so thankful that somebody took me in to kind of show me what I needed to be doing after high school, because otherwise I probably would have gotten a job or just figuring it out. I figured out a lot in life just by figuring it out.
Just doing it.
Yeah,
right?
just
Okay.
a lot of bumps, a lot of fall downs. And so I was thankful that, he did reach out. It was like, I've watched you, and we would love to have you come play for us. And I took the opportunity because I had letters coming through the mail, but I didn't know what to do with them. Lots of offers, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Yep, so I took the offer there, and it was good.
Now that you mentioned that, so it plays a part in where you are right now based on how you were doing things back then. Where did that passion of basketball come from?
Oh my gosh, I've always loved basketball. I've played basketball from I can almost think back to the age of 5.
Really?
Yes, and this one lady, her name was Jareen Johnson. I'll never forget her. Lived in Wilkeston Terrace, and she was the one over the basketball team at that time. And the little spar and stuff. The spar saved my life because she had the teams, and I would go to the gym and I would be playing with the boys, and she pulled me out. She was like, you can play, and so she just took me under her wing, and I would be on the team, and we would go play the basketball games at the spars. And my brothers, I had 2 older brothers that lived in the house with me, and an older sister. I was the baby of 4, and they loved basketball, and so I would always play with them. And we didn't have a whole lot, but we'd take our wire hanger and our socks and ball those socks up, and we would play basketball. And I was just as contactful as them. I was just as rough as them, and they are way older than I am. But I loved it, and that passion stuck with me throughout all of my elementary years. Even when we moved, Miss Jareen found me over in Stoner Hill, and she told my mom I would come and pick her up, and I would bring her back. And she kept that vow, and she nurtured me. And I got to middle school and started playing at Broadmoor Middle School with Coach Hunt. I can remember the names because they were so impactful in my life. Totally. Like, I didn't grow up with an active mom. My dad left when I was 3, so I didn't grow up with a dad. So these people made impact in my life. And so after middle school, I went on to high school and made the team at Byrd and finished through 12th grade. And I love basketball. I still play today.
Really?
Yes. I trained both of my older sons. I have a 25-year-old and I have a 21-year-old. And then we have a 12-year-old daughter and a 10-year-old son. So I've trained all of them. I put them all on the court and just beat them down.
No mercy.
No mercy. I'm like, y'all don't know who your mama is. But I love it. I love it.
What position?
Shooting guard.
Really? Okay. Shooter.
Yep.
Okay.
Light them up.
Let's go. All right. I like that. And the reason I touched on that is because a lot of times people would think about sports and business separately. But I believe that the passion, the determination that you put into sports, I believe it led to Healthy, Happy Wives and all the other things that you do as well. What was, besides the people coming, picking you up, doing what they said they were going to do, following through with those vows that it made to you, what was it inside of you that pushed you to be so determined to be better and get that scholarship?
A lot of factors. I can really be honest and say there were a lot of things. As I mentioned, I didn't grow up with the best living arrangements. I didn't have active parents. And I really figured a lot out by doing. And so I've always had this drive to want to be better and do better. I grew up where I saw drug abuse, alcoholism, verbal abuse, physical abuse. I saw those things. And so I really just have to say that I always say God always had his hand on me. In the midst of all of those things, there was always something inside of me. And when I had my son at 15, I think that was a major turning point for me that made me say, you don't have a choice but to make it now because you have this little person depending on you. So that determination has always been there, considering all the different factors of, just having to make it. It was like I had to. I had to make it, or I could look around and see and become what I saw. And I chose that. That's not what I wanted.
We have this game that we like to add in to kind of get people's nerves at ease. So have you ever heard of 20 questions? No? The game 20 questions. All right, so how it works is I'm gonna think of a word.
Uh-huh.
And then you have 20 questions to try to figure out what that word is that I'm thinking about.
Okay.
All right, so I have the word right now, and you can ask me any questions, and then I'll let you know if you get it.
Okay. Is it a fruit?
No.
Is it an activity?
No.
Is it a color?
Is it a car?
A color.
Color? No.
Is it about, oh my goodness. Is it an animal?
Yes.
Okay. Does it have 4 legs?
No.
Okay. Okay. So it's an animal, but it does not have 4 legs.
Nope.
Does it make a noise?
Yes.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is it a person?
No.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Is it furry?
No.
No fur. Does it live in a cage?
It can, but not normally, no.
So if I answer and it's wrong, I get to keep going because
You
I'm
get to
not
keep
at 20
going.
questions.
You get to keep
Is it a gorilla?
No. So you at 10 now. That's 10, the 10 mark.
Come on, Nick, get it together. Is it something we can find in Shreveport?
I don't believe so.
Okay, Lord. I have no idea. That is crazy. Okay, let me ask this question. Is it something somebody would have as a pet?
No.
No, it's not a pet. Okay.
No.
So,
I mean, they could technically, but no, not normally. It's not common.
it's not common. Is it one of those animals we would see on the National Geographic channel?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. 2-legged animals that make noise that would not be in Shreve, possibly a pet. Oh my gosh. I don't know if this would be considered 2-legged. A monkey?
No. Remember, it's not furry.
Oh, it's not furry.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So you got 6 questions left. Well, so I'll tell you this. Normally, people just come on the show by themselves, but you brought somebody along. So I'll allow you to use them for at least 2 questions.
Lifeline.
Lifeline. Come on, husband. You have a question? What?
Can it hop?
I haven't seen that, but possibly.
So it's not a kangaroo.
So 5 more questions.
That was a good question. So that rules out the kangaroo.
Right. So if I ask this question, it'll be down 4. Can it run?
No.
It can't run.
Kangaroo.
That's a good one, but
No, because you said can it hop? See, and that's why I'm saying kangaroo can't hop.
Woo.
I mean kangaroo hop.
He took your question. 3.
That's okay. Is it a wild animal?
You can say that.
It could be a wild animal.
2 left.
It's a wild animal. It's no fur. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna use another question. No, it's not in that family. It's not in that family. Is it a seal? I mean, pink. What you call?
Penguin?
Penguin? No. It's a pink.
I knew you could get it. Good job. Woo, you
Wait a
had
minute
2
now.
left.
Too loud.
Based on what you told me about your household, It sounds like there was no going to church, or was there?
I didn't grow up in it, but I was definitely exposed to it, and it made a big impact. It stuck with me.
And at what point did you start to flourish inside the church?
Not until I was in my early 20s. I was in and out for years, in and out. I knew that it was something that I needed. I knew that it was important, but I didn't know how to get there. I really became connected and affiliated in ministry at the age of 24. At the age of 24 is when I really knew that God was calling me to so much more. And I accepted the call, and I have been on that battlefield ever since then.
Yes.
Yeah.
So within that journey, how did Healthy Happy Wives come about?
Wow. So Healthy Happy Wives came 5 years ago. Actually, it was not Healthy Happy Wives that first came to mind. It was women, wives, and moms. And it was just something that I had a vision of for women, wives, and moms to be able to come and just release and have a safe space. And that's where it came from. Healthy Happy Wives came as I developed, and I began to say, okay, now, God, who am I supposed to be ministering directly to? Who am I supposed to be reaching out for? And the wives always fell in my heart because I'm a wife. My husband and I went through a lot of challenges in the beginning of our marriage concerning his health, and we received going through kidney transplant, did dialysis at home. We went through a major journey, and just thinking about the things that as a woman and a wife that I had to carry to make sure that our family unit stayed strong as he went and he worked on the healing aspect of it and walking through those stages. So I really felt a burden for wives, and sometimes people are going through and they don't have anyone that they can release that information to, a safe space where they don't have to worry about, are they gonna say something? And so Healthy Happy Wives, we have been connecting now consistently for 4.5 years. For almost 3 years, we have come together every Monday morning to pray. And so it's been beautiful.
So tell me more about it. Besides prayer, what exactly is it?
So it's a community where wives can be a part, and it's a safe space. We not only pray, but we have something called Wife Talk, and that happens at least once a month. We come together and we bring these topics that's not typically talked about. And we bring the topics and we talk about them. We have wives in the group that's been married 50 years, 30 years experience. We have wives that's been married for 3 years, a year, few months. And so we bring this together, and now you have this community where not only can I share, but I also can receive. And so we do Wife Talk. I offer one-on-one wife coaching and marriage coaching. So I am a certified Christian counselor. I'm a certified life coach. And so I offer those opportunities because maybe it's something you need to talk about that you don't want to share in the community. They're able to reach out to me privately. We set up something and they're able to have that space. We do so many different things. My husband and I, once a year, we do Healthy Happy Wife Connections, and Healthy Happy Marriage Connections, where the husbands get on board, and then we create games, and we do all kind of fun things, and just be very intentional. That's what it's about, us being intentional in our marriages, because the marriage unit is one of the most important units. If the marriage is breaking, the household is breaking. So that's the gist of what it looks like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was having a discussion the other day with one of my team members, smart guy, and we were talking about relationships. Mm-hmm. And we got into what is the biggest part of a relationship? What would you say is the biggest part?
Undoubtedly, God being the center of that relationship, because everything else can change. But if this center is strong and it's firm, as much as this changed, this is not going anywhere. And so God is definitely a key component, the component.
In all the counseling that you do, what would you say is the trend that is lacking in those couples? If there was that one thing they could work on, this would be it.
Communication.
That's why I asked that question, because I knew you was gonna say that. Why do you think that's so hard, though?
For one, how we have viewed marriage, what we've seen in relationships, the models that were shown to us. Maybe that's one component of it. Another component is we're so stuck in who we are, not understanding that we must change and evolve. And if we always talk about the 4 types of communicators, the passive, the aggressive, the passive aggressive, and the assertive, and identifying what type of communicator you are and finding that balance to get over there into that assertive lane. Effective communication is so important. Understanding what you say is not just what you say. What your body says is important as well. So those, yeah. The trend is either not wanting to change or wanting it to be their way. If I put a letter, a number 6 here, and turn it upside down, it can become a 9. And perception always matters to the person on how you see it. But if you step to the other side, you can see it from their angle. And then it gives you a better picture of, wow, this could be both ways. It's not just my way. But sometimes we don't want to break out of that place to say, you know what, husband, I understand. I can see that. I may not totally agree with it, but I can see it, how you see it. So communication.
How would you help somebody that is bringing along baggage from another place, and they're trying to start something new, but they just can't let go of what has happened before in the past? What would you say to them?
That's really good, because most of the time we bring what has happened in the past with us. That could be in a new relationship, on the last job, the boss was mean. And so now today, I don't even trust you because you're the new boss and I'm making you suffer from the last. So it can be in all different avenues. But what I would say is we must face it and call it what it truly is. Getting down to the root of that thing. So yes, you have a problem with authority, but is it just authority, or what happened that you were probably abused by someone who was an authority figure when you were 7, and now you have a problem with authority. So it's really taking them back to when those things start developing and dealing with that root issue. And it's gonna be ugly. It's always ugly before it get pretty. It's ugly and it hurts so bad, because you're basically having to face that person who probably molested you. You're having to face your mom who wasn't there. You're having to face whoever did you wrong. You're having to relive that moment so that you can bring it out and deal with it and move from it. And when it tries to creep up, you say, I already forgave. And you put it back where it was. Nope, you can't go with me. You stay over there. I have something to do. And that's my daily talk. You stay over there. Yes. I'm more than enough. God made me more than enough. We're done with that. We're done. Mm-hmm.
With God touching you and saying, this is what you need to do, how did you get on the path of life coaching?
Well, I always said that if I ever went back to school for anything, it would be for counseling. And I've always been this person, even in the midst of my own pain and struggles or things that I was going through. I was the person people would call, and I would listen. That was before any of this. As a teenager, I can remember listening. In my 20s, I can remember just being a person that listened In my 30s, I listened. And so I went to beauty school in my early 20s, finished, went back to become an educator because I knew that as a little girl, I was going to be a teacher. So I went back, got my educator's license to educate in the beauty arena. And that's what I get to do daily is make people feel beautiful and educate. And when the pandemic happened, it really opened the opportunity up for me to be able to pursue that other passion that I had, that I was already doing. But that's what opened the door for me to go back to get my life coaching certification and then to get my BA of Arts in Christian counseling. It really fueled me to really put myself out there almost. And because I'm the type of person that you won't know what I know until you probably sit down and talk with me. Because I don't just be like, oh yeah, and A, B, C, but I'm more, I'm more of a one-on-one person. Like I love to be able to just connect with people and pour into them. And so if you can get me one-on-one, it's gonna be the best thing ever. But it really made me say, there's a gift that God has given me and to really share it because wives are hurting, marriages are suffering.
With all of that you do, what are your hobbies? What do you like to do when you're not doing all that work and stuff?
Actually, that's funny that you say that because my daughter asked me yesterday, Mom, you didn't work today. And I said, yes, I did. She said, well, you didn't go to the salon. I said, the salon is not work for me, honey. That is a place of freedom. So I love, when I get to go into the salon and make my clients feel beautiful. But I really love to read. I love to color. And that's what I like to do. Yeah, I like to work out. I have a lot of hobbies. I like to do stuff. Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you have any big events coming up that you want the audience to know? Any events?
Well, the Healthy Happy Wives, we have our Wife Talk coming up, March the 24th.
Okay.
So that is something that we have. I think that's the only big thing. We, of course, always have educational classes available for hair, and I am a hair loss specialist as well. So I do sessions and classes on hair loss, those people that may be going through alopecia. It could be different forms.
Yeah.
So I do scope sessions where I scope the scalp to see, do you have follicles, and do a whole questionnaire and all of that good stuff to get them what they need.
Wait a minute, I see you glancing at the top of my head now. I see you glancing at the top of my head now.
No. But yeah, so those are things that, that's always available. Those are things I always have available.
Okay, okay. When does the self-care take its turn? How do you turn that on? What does that look like?
Oh, that was a work in progress. Actually, I had to learn to get to that space. But I am so balanced. I'm a lot more balanced now than I've ever been. Because now I know how to tell my husband, babe, I need a break. Or babe, I'm tired. I know how to tell my children, this is mommy's off day. That means no kids, no husband, no business. That means off. So they know that and they respect that. And I would not be where I am or be able to do what I do without my husband and my children. They have been like this sort of encouragement. They're always there. Like when I'm like, oh, we're gonna do this, and they're right there. Their hands are in, helping me make it happen. We work together. I love it.
That's good. What would you say you owe your success to?
First to God, definitely. Like I say, without him, I am nothing. I would not be able to do. People always ask me, how do you do it? Oh my God, you always do this, you do this, you do. Because I share my journey on social media quite often of the things that's happening and that's going on. And part of it is so that people know that it's available. We started homeschooling about almost 4 years ago.
Okay.
And we started sharing that journey to let other families know that other families are homeschooling. And so that has grown into something so beautiful, seeing all these families come together every week. But I just think that the success is not just success, it's really like a testimony of how God continued to take us from place to place. And every place that we step in, there should be an impact. Not only an impact out, but you should also be being poured into. Yeah. So there is this exchange. So that I think that the success, like I say, from God, I thank God for my family. My husband is such a man of strength, a praying man, because I'm a lot. I'm a lot. I know that. Yeah. I know that. I'm busy. My husband's very laid back. He balances me. I'm really high energied and he's real calm. So yeah, he is a big part of my success because he came in and toned me down a whole lot. And then my oldest son, who's off in Baton Rouge, and my second oldest, they're both in Baton Rouge, always being so supportive. So in our rough seasons, they were through the rocky part of me trying to find out who I was and all of that. So they didn't get this me. They're getting this now, but they didn't get that as children. And so I had to grow into that. So I thank God for them being patient with me and extending that grace to me. Yes. And I think, I'm just going to say this, I think as parents, us being able to go to our children and say, I'm sorry, I didn't have it all figured out. I didn't know. I made a lot of mistakes, but I'm sorry. And, you know, if I need to walk through some seasons with you to get through the trauma that may have been caused because I wasn't where I needed to be, then I'll do that.
Let's do it,
yeah.
Somebody wanted to come up and do what you're doing now. They were like, take me under your wing. What would be the advice that you would give them?
The advice I would probably give them is, and I remember this from being in class, is that you have to be ready to face your own stuff. If you're going to really flourish in it, you cannot heal from a broken place. And what I mean is, you can't help others if you're still extremely broken. Like you have to start, I'm not saying you have to be perfect, but you have to start piecing those things together and to really understand that it's not about you, but that there is others that's on the other side that you're going to have to bring up. Yeah. And so you have to be ready for the work. Just from the spiritual side, it's a lot of praying, it's a lot of dying to you. And just have that mindset that, you know, you're not just trying to do this for money. You're not trying to come up from somewhere trying to get the financial gain of it, because there's so much more to it. Yeah. And when you start chasing money or chasing things, then you start losing the sight of what can truly happen, because as long as you're doing what God called you to, He's going to take care of the rest.
That's true. Tell me about one time you struggled and you came out the other end.
I have 100 of those.
Just one.
I was 20 years old. I could see the day right now. I decided that, you know, I want to be better. Yeah. I said, I want to be better. And I had my son, and I was pregnant with my second son. And I had a purple outfit. It was a skirt and a long sleeve shirt. I thought it was nice and decent, and I thought it was cute, and I thought that, you know, it looked presentable, because I had a lot of clothes that didn't have, that showed all my body. And I decided that I wanted to do right. And I struggled so much in my teen years and early years, but it was at that point that I said, you know what, I want to do this. I went in my closet, and anything that showed skin, I throwed it away.
So, out.
I said, I can't have two boys. I don't want to embarrass them. I don't want to make them shame or any of that. And I went in and I threw all those clothes away, and it left me with nothing. It left me with nothing. And I really, really struggled with coming out, like breaking that hold that was on me to feel like, you know, I needed to dress a certain way or anything like that. But once I got to that point where I said, this is it. I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not going through, I'm not sleeping with another person. My husband and I did not sleep together until we were married. I made those choices. And when I made those choices, on the other side of it was this beautiful reward that I was like, oh my God, oh, if I would have known this sooner.
Yeah.
Oh, if I'd have made these changes sooner. But then I had to remember, you can't, look, you
No,
didn't know.
in the past.
Yes, it was
in
the past. So that moment was very pivotal. And I always tell my second son, he was my life-changing son, because having him made me wake up.
Nice.
My first son was my life-saving son.
Yeah.
He saved my life. Made me say, you got to do this. But that second son made me say, oh, I have to change. I have to change.
We have reached that point in the podcast where we transition to name that tune.
Oh.
I feel like you're gonna do good.
Oh my God.
So we kind of set it up to where it's easy, medium, and then hard.
Okay.
So don't get too nervous.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna play a little snippet. All you have to do is name the song, not who sings it.
Okay.
Here's the first song.
I have no idea what that is.
Nothing?
Lord of Lords.
I don't know that song.
Nothing?
Oh no, I don't know that song.
Awesome God.
By who?
Brian Courtney Wilson.
Oh, see, I don't know. No, I don't know that one.
No. All right. This is the next one.
Okay.
Might be a little bit tougher,
Okay.
but I think you got it. All right, here we go.
That's Tasha Cobb's Break Every Chain.
Yes.
Okay.
There we go. Good job. All right, this is the last one.
I was like, So yeah, it gave me a little bit. Hit the road, Jack.
It sure did. There
Don't
you
you come
go.
back no more, no more, no more, no more.
See, I tried to throw you off. It was actually hard, medium,
medium.
and
Okay.
It has been great having you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Before we get out of here, I want you to let the viewers know where they can find you.
Okay, you can find me at www.healthyhappywives.com, or you can find me at beautybynet.booksy.com.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, y'all, as we wrap up this episode, I got a question for you. What is the best advice that you have gotten? Leave a comment. And there it is.